Hello and welcome. My name is Kylie Bartlett, the host of the Web Celeb TV show, the world's first web TV show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs create buzz, build a brand, and get celebrity results in their business. This week's episode is all about how to serve and sell to customers, but I'm coming from it from a very different angle, and you'll see why after watching this episode for the next 15 to 20 minutes. So can I ask you a few questions? Have you ever walked into a room and someone's sheer presence gives you the heebie-jeebies? You know, when you walk in and the hairs go up on the back of your neck and they don't even need to say anything, but they irritate you. Or have you ever been in a situation where you've started to say something and someone's finished the sentence for you and it wasn't even what you were thinking or wanting to say? Or have you ever felt misunderstood? Or is that something that just happens to me? Well, just like we have our own hair colour, eye colour, skin colour, so too do we have different ways of thinking, operating and behaving. And as a result of those differences, they seem to cause and do cause a number of conflicts and differences in the way that we interact and operate in the world. So how would it be if I could give you some tips and strategies and techniques that you could use to heighten your relationships with your customers and start to reduce some of the frustrations that you might be experiencing? I'm hoping that you're really interested in learning about this. You see, it's all very fine. I've been spending many weeks talking to you about building brand and how to build up trust and rapport online. And last week's episode was all about customer service and exceeding the customer's expectation. Well, now I'd like to layer in the next level, which is around learning how to build rapport, influence and persuade our customers and learn how to sell and serve them based on differences of style of behaviour. So the model that I'm going to take you through is called DiSC, which is DISC. And DiSC is the largest behavioural, psychometric behavioural tool, profiling tool that is used in the world. I've been delivering this tool for in excess of 10 years and have probably put in excess of 10,000 people through this profile. Now, admittedly, I deliver this program usually over an 8 to 16 hour period, but I'm going to abbreviate it and show you how you can use it over a 15 to 20 minute time frame. So I'm hoping that you'll be able to learn lots from this profile and it's going to really assist you in serving and selling to your customers. So let me talk about the whole differences again. See, the reason why we have a lot of conflict in our lives and in our interactions with our customers and colleagues, and it's mainly over differences. Now, you think about it. If I have one opinion and you have a different opinion, what tends to happen is we start fighting over the differences of opinion rather than what was the conversation that we were actually talking about. So, for example, I'm wearing a black jacket today. Now, what would happen if in my house my mum and dad taught me that this was actually red, and then I went to a primary school where we associated this colour with red, and then I grow up and I'm an adult and I'm in a work environment and I might be talking to a colleague and all of a sudden I say to them, gee, I like your red top. What tends to happen is that the other individuals say, well, it's not red, it's black. What are you looking at, idiot? And then all of a sudden I say, well, no, it's red, and they say it's black. And I say it's red. And so what ends up happening is we have these differences of opinions, and all it is it's based on our level of thinking. You see, this jacket was never black, blue, purple, red or orange. It was the thinking that we attached to it that made it so. So what I'd like you to think about over this next 15 minutes is it really real or is it just a perception? And knowing that it's just a perception, it can actually dissipate some of the conflict that we can be experiencing when instead of saying, no, you're wrong, I'm right, or I'm wrong, you're right, it's about, although I wouldn't see it that way, that it's okay that you do. So the minute that you say, talk to the hand, you're wrong, I'm right, it then starts to heighten frustration within people and you don't get to the true essence of excellent communication. So instead of saying, no, you're wrong, I'm right, this is a red top, I encourage you to start using language like, no, that's interesting. How is it that you see it that way? And can you see by just changing the way that we use our words, it opens up the conversation to be far more expressive and communicative rather than talk to the hand. So how does this actually work with DiSC and serving and selling to customers? Well, you see, the DiSC model is based on 4 different types of behaviour. And a man by the name of Dr. William Moulton Marston back in the 20s came up with a model, and it has got statistical validity and reliability around it. So it's not just his opinion, there actually is scientific proof that this is the case, that in a Western world, based on different behavioural traits, we can start to predetermine or predict the way people will act and behave. And that's what I'd like to talk to you about and take you through the 4 different characters or the 4 different styles of behaviour. And when you can learn to read that in others, then you can start to modify your behaviour and your communication to be more like the individual than like yourself. Now, I don't know about you, but I was brought up to treat others how I like to be treated. And you probably were brought up the same way. Well, there's actually a flaw in that statement. You see, it's not treat others how you like to be treated, it's treat others how they like to be treated. So it's learning to have a level of flexibility within your communication style and your behaviour to modify it enough so that you are more like the other individual. In other words, people that like each other like each other. So the more that you can be like someone else, the more they're going to be attracted to you, like you, listen to you, and ultimately buy from you. So getting back to the 4 different characters, D stands for dominance. So in DiSC, D is the dominant character, and I call it the lion. So I'm going to actually talk to you about the animals that I've overlaid into this model. So D is for dominance, and it's the lion. So these are the talk quick, do quick, act quick, think quick. They're task focused, they're very fast, they're outcome driven. They're the ones that have the big cars and the big chairs and the big desk, and they like power and authority, and they like to win, and they love challenges and goals. They don't necessarily like the status quo. They want to bust it up. They're innovative. They take risks. They live by the sword and die by the sword. So they're quite an assertive, arrogant, intimidating character. So they're the Ds, known as the lion. Now, next to the D is the I, and that stands for influence. And I call the influencers the peacocks. These are the social butterflies. In other words, roll out the red carpet. Kylie Bartlett has entered the building. So they're very sociable, they're over the top. They wear their heart on their sleeve. They're drama kings and queens. They love emotion. They love people. They love to be the centre of attention and to be keeping up with the Joneses. So they're very quick as well, quick to think, quick to act. But they are more people-focused, whereas the lions are more task-focused. They want to know that they are wearing the latest and the greatest and using the best gadgets that are out there. Great socialisers can be a tad disorganised, but they are extremely emotional. So when you look after them and serve them, they'll be your best friend. But if you ignore them, then they will leave you because they're wanting to have the attention. So that's I is for influence, and they are the peacocks. Now the third one is S. And that stands for steadiness. And these are the beautiful, gorgeous puppy dogs. Now, the puppy dogs are much slower in their pace. They are people-focused. They're into teamwork, harmony, loyalty, predictability. These are the gorgeous people that don't ruffle feathers. They go with the flow. They don't want to be the centre of attention, but they do want to be loved and nurtured and remembered and acknowledged. So they are very much slower in pace and very much around teamwork and harmony and communication and relationships. They're the puppy dogs. And the 4th character starts with C, which is for conscientiousness. Now, these are the wise owls. And the wise owls are also task-focused, a lot slower in their communication style because they are the ones that are into stats and data and facts and history. They are the ones that wrote all of the plans, procedure manuals. They love reading the table of contents in any book. So they're very thorough and stern and formal-like and conservative. So they can come across a bit aloof because they're looking at you going, what would you mere mortal know? I'm a perfectionist. So they're slower in their communication style, but they are also focused on tasks.